you couldn't have come up with kind of a worst case scenario going into a game that doesn't mean anything to the team against a team that it means everything to them in the Rams. They have so much to lose. And McVay's going to have them coached up. And you look at McVay since 2017, we talked about how he hadn't lost going into State Farm Stadium his entire tenure until week 2. His average margin of victory against the Cardinals is like 11 points on average. So like the Rams score 27, the Cardinals score 16. And I think a lot of people believe that that's probably where this final score should be. Like in the game will the game ever become in question tomorrow? The Cardinals need to kind of change that narrative. Like you can't have these uncompetitive games against division foes as consistent as the Cardinals have.
Let's get to these predictions now. Bo, you mentioned lofty spreads with our friends at Bet365, lofty previous scores. Do our picks reflect that? Damon Dog, let's see them. I'll go first here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think the Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately, right now are a byproduct of a team that has completely crumbled post-bye. It's embarrassing. It's unfortunate. I feel for the guys in the locker room. I'm sympathetic to Jonathan Gannon, but I'm also at a point right now where, have I been fully turned against Kyler Murray? No. I think he's a better option than a lot of guys around the NFL. But, man, they just, as my co-host mentioned, they blew this season. They blew it. They blew it for the people of the Valley, where Kenny Dillingham and ASU have succeeded every step, where people, neglected that program. The Cardinals had an opportunity to do the same, and they fell flat on their face. And I want to be wrong. I want to sit at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass tomorrow and commend Kyler Murray in a big-time win on national TV and be re-enthused. But I've seen this script too many times, and it's so damning that they blew this team out, and now they're a huge underdog because Vegas, at the end of the day, they don't play favorites. They bet with their wallets, and they put their money where their mouth is, and they feel like the Cardinals are a lofty road dog, and I think my score, Bo, kind of reflects that.
Yeah. Mine reflects that we as a show have been in unison as far as the Cardinals, I think the last 3 weeks. And I just needed to throw I need to throw some breaking stuff here. We just need to see if we can, I don't know, speak it into existence. If not, who cares? I'll be willing to look like the fool of the group. I've got the Cardinals winning in an unbelievable squeaker fashion, 27-26 on the road.
Are you not entertained?
I am fully entertained. I can't wait. Look at me. I'm just my hope is that this team is able to figure it out. But I understand what they're up against. Cardinals 27-26. Damon's gonna get us back on track with more of the theme like Johnny had.
I got a big blowout for the Rams, 31-13. Reasoning. I think the Cardinals keep it close in the first half. I think they're they come out well coached. They look decent. It's after a bad loss last week, and then just think things kind of fall apart in the second half. Offense doesn't get going. Maybe a couple fourth down conversions you don't convert on, and score looks a little bit worse than it is. But ultimately, the Rams handle the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, Kyren Williams, Puka, Cooper Kupp. It's a lot up to full strength back on the offensive line, which they weren't in week 2. I mean, one point you made off the air, Damon, was every time we feel like we're out on this team, Gannon and his staff are able to have his team come back out of nowhere, almost.
They prep well in those games
from the clouds, and kind of are able to kind of reclaim the narrative. But look, I mean, I've been watching this team for too long against the Rams, far too many times where they've humbled this team, made things look really ugly, and they have the ability to do that. They have the ability to win this game running away and focus on huge week 18 game against the Seahawks. Is this a game though, guys, that where we feel like our Rams fans, is it on their radar? They're like, oh, important football again. Like, are we gonna maybe we'll show up to the stadium and support the local 53?
It's gonna be gross, like Magic Johnson. People, he'll have all the celebrities
Magic
there.
Johnson are the Commanders.
Ohtani.
Yeah,
Ohtani will be
they'll
out there.
fraud it up. Yeah, Damon's right. That's who I meant to say. Ohtani, the celebs that don't care, they'll be in their luxury suites, and Stafford's wife will be out there, and it'll just be a love affair with the
guy.
And they deserve out
there.
They deserve it, man.
Hey, Flavor Town's here, and you're just like, why? There's Guy Fieri there and Eric Dickerson. Awesome.
They deserve it. You know what the Cardinals deserve? To not be in postseason contention right now because they blew it. Like, you beat Carolina last week, a team that has been awful, unwatchable at times for multiple years. And this game, you went out, you win the NFC West. And that's Ryan. That's certainly a take.
That's my shout out, Ryan. That's my inside joke I've been saying for months on the D-backs show.
I just Arizona Cardinals. You're right, Damon. It's a great point by you. They were 1-3. They were 2-4. They battled back. I just think post-bye, they're a completely different team. I have not seen the team that was 6-4, coincidentally, in a month and a half. I just think this is who the Cardinals are now. Like, we're at the end of the year. I don't expect this to be fixed with Marv right now. The pass protection clearly has gotten worse now. You've missing both tackles. The defense, as overwhelmingly positive as we've been, could just be out of gas, right? And, as Austin Ford's saying, we got a lot of young players we're developing. I'm sure he's talking about the Max Meltons of the world. What's happened with this offense and Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray? There's just too much stank on it. And then you look on the other side, and Stafford and McVay and Puka Nacua are the flipping gold standard. The Cardinals would love that. They would love to be 7/10 of what they are. And they're not. They're right now, in my opinion, they're one of the most underachieving units in the NFL right now. You have Kyler Murray for every game this year, and he's last in the NFL in passing touchdowns. People should be fired, and we're going to call for people to be fired and or replaced if this continues on.